Olin, I don't advise listening to me unless you can listen to your heart at the same time. And additionally, use your mind to give attention to how what I say compares to what your heart is telling you. And what am I telling you today on February 7th, 2023? I'm telling you that the mother planet has weeping eczema. The planetary mother, that great animal, has a skin condition. In case you don't know, weeping eczema is a well-known skin condition that is characterized by blisters that appear on the skin. They're itchy, and if they're scratched or if they break open spontaneously, then they exude or ooze a whitish or yellowish pus. Hence, it is called weeping eczema. Now, there are many variations of this condition, and some of them involve infection. So I can assure you that the skin condition of the mother planet does involve an infection. So, with that assertion, I put you before a question, or several questions. How exactly can we detect the skin of the mother planet? And what would be the symptoms or the evidence of weeping eczema in her skin? And finally, of course, what would be the cure for this condition? To take you into the depths of this situation, I'll do something that sorcerers often do, using magical words, words of invocation. You know, a lot of magic and sorcery throughout all the ages, everywhere you look, is tied up with words, the names of things, and the magic, for good or otherwise, that is carried in these names. So here are two words from the Aztec language, Nahuatl, a version, a dialect. There were many dialects of Nahuatl. And they are the words that a sorcerer would use to conjure into your minds the neuro-linguistic channels that open your mind to what I'm talking about. Nanahuatzin and Xipe Totek. Nanahuatzin, Xipe Totek. Those are names of Aztec deities, and they are intimately connected with the complicated, highly complicated scenario of El Quinto Sol, the fifth sun, you see. They are inherent to the mythological narrative of the fifth sun, which I am not going to repeat, and I will make no attempt to teach you that narrative or to interpret it. I will simply draw some cues and clues encoded in that narrative to your attention, if you don't mind. Or even if you do, WTF. There's nothing you can do about it if you heard those words, you say. They're now in your NLP. And they will do what they do under the direction of a sorcerer who knows how to use them. Now, these two deities are connected with the main themes of the narrative of the fifth sun, which is the age in which we live. Olin, earthquake, movement, change of heart. And among those themes and motifs, you find sores on the face, the flaying of skin, pestilence, and events in the atmosphere of the earth and in the temperature, in the metabolic temperature of the earth that find their reflection in certain physical conditions on the planet. It's a complex myth. So just bear in mind that if you were to go and investigate that myth, you will find it's all about sores, pestilence, and even flaying of skin, because Xipe Totek is the flayed god of the Aztecs. And I'll have something to say about flaying human bodies in a moment. But even before I get to that, does it suggest anything to you? It seems certainly historians would say, and most people would agree, this is a horrific rite practiced by the Aztecs. They flayed their victims alive, right? Oh, that couldn't happen today. Oh, no, not a chance. It couldn't be that anyone in our world today, any sane human being, would be willing for a high price to flay alive another human being. And even more bizarre, how about human beings, human animals, people, even young people who go before the sacrificial knife voluntarily to be flayed of their body parts? Oh, that could never, ever happen in our time. Anyway, I digress. Now I'm going to take a moment to do something that might appear rather silly. Back some years ago, when I did a series of YouTube talks called Mandela Effect Decoded, I brought up a phenomenon which I called Sophianic baby talk. And in describing and demonstrating how that works, I explained that due to neoteny, which is the condition of the human animal to be born long before it is matured, the frontal cerebral cortex of the human animal is highly vulnerable and highly immature for a long time. And you can describe the development of the frontal cortex by dividing it into two stages, the pre-verbal stage and the post-verbal stage. So when human children begin to acquire language and speak actual words like dada or mama or nana, that means that there is a transformation happening in their frontal lobe circuits. But in the 1.5 or 2 years before they do speak, there is a lot of activity going on in those circuits. And that activity occurs when parents use baby talk. So baby talk is typically just phonemes like ooh, ooh, ah, ah, coo, coo, like that. They are not words, but they are phonemes, sound units, which actually affect the formation of the frontal cortex profoundly, even before the capacity of language is acquired due to the maturity of those cerebral circuits. So let's look at these two words, these two names, as if we were looking at baby talk. Nanahuatzin. What does that suggest to you? It has 3 syllables. 4. Nanahuatzin. Well, those are almost words. In fact, they are words. Nana is a common word for a girl or a woman or a mother or grandmother. What is equivalent to the word what. And zeen or seen is a form of the verb to see. So you could put that name into a question, and you could put that question to your supernatural, non-human mother, the planet, and you could ask her, Nanahuatzin. Nana, what do you want us to see? And she might answer, I want you to see that I have weeping eczema. Now let's go to the next name, Xipe Totek. It's spelled X-I-P-E because the X in transliteration of the Nahuatl is a SH sound. Xipe Totek. Well, what do you hear in there? It's baby talk. But there is a word there, maybe a couple. Certainly there is the word sheep. Then there's the word A, the letter A. I'll get to that in a moment. What does A stand for? Well, it stands for the word that defines humanity as a species, the anthropine species, Xipe. And then you have Totek. What is Totek? Well, toe is a word, isn't it? Like a toe on your foot, or to toe or to pull, to toe something, to entrain something. And tech is also a word. I have a tech assistant who helps me in my school. So you see how the Sophianic baby talk provided by these ancient Aztec names could be translated into a current message. And what is the second message? Second message is that Xipe, those who belong to the human species who act like sheep, are being entrained by technology, Totek. And that if you asked Gaia Sophia, please explain Xipe Totek to me, she might say, well, I'm trying to tell you that that imaginary number in the billions of human animals who act like sheep, and they are therefore just followers, are being told or entrained by tech, by technology. And she might add, because she is a wise and generous goddess, that this phenomenon, this event that is happening, is actually the cause of her weeping eczema. So there in those 2 names, there's a lot of encoded information. And you don't have to go back and look at the Aztec codices in order to draw the wisdom of the Aztecs to your attention. Because if that wisdom, like any other ancient wisdom, ever was valid, then it is valid today in the context of contemporary life. And that's the challenge to understand. Not what it meant before, but what it means now, right now. At 14 minutes, I'm going to close this YouTube preview of the talk, but I advise you, as before, that you can find the talk, complete talk, for free on Nematta in Planetary Tantra. And I will also caution you about what's coming. It's a good practice in this case that I preview the talk and continue it elsewhere, because what I have to tell you in these talks could probably not go on YouTube or almost anywhere else on the internet. I begin in the second talk about how to observe the affliction of weeping eczema. And then in the third talk, again on the theme of the fifth son, I'll get to the cure. And I caution you beforehand that it's likely that the cure is not something that will come easily to you. And you might find when I get to that talk that you have a resistance to hearing about the cure for the great mother's weeping eczema. So it's a test of your sanity, your sobriety, a test of your moral fiber, and a test of your courage in facing the current condition of the human races.